All right, so Tito, how does it feel? I mean, 15 years ago today, you fought your first fight in the UFC.
It's crazy, man. You don't even really realize it until time's already passed. 15 years. I mean, I'm still young, 37. I've been competing for 15 years. Started when I was 22, and my first fight I fought for free. And just crazy to look at my career and everything that I fought for was, when I first began, it was just for fun. Now it's became a career. It's for my family. For everything I worked my butt off for is, to give my kids everything I never had when I was growing up, and that's success. People say don't talk about money, but at the end of the day, that's what life's really about. If you want to be successful, you got to work hard, and my job is fighting for a living.
So your first fight, when you came into the cage, were you super nervous, or were you just kind of like just stoked to be able to do it?
I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. I was afraid too. I mean, guys say that they're not afraid when they're fighting. Those guys are lying. It's just one of those things that I remember walking in and going, "Don't make a mistake."
So do you have anything to say to some, the up-and-coming fighters that probably haven't gotten a cage yet, or maybe just coming in to fight, say within a week to a year, just guys that are just trying?
The guys are just trying out. It's all about marketing. You got to do the right type of marketing. You got to make sure that you do everything possible. When I first started out, I started my clothing company. I was the first fighter to come out with fighter cards, little top fighter cards that they have now. I was the first guy to do those. No one else really understood it. But like I say, it was one of those things that I understood what marketing was really about. A lot of fighters didn't understand that. But at the end of the day, it don't matter how tough you are, how many world titles you win, but as long as you're remembered as one of the greatest. And I think I've done that. Of course, you got to win fights, you got to win championships, but you got to be remembered. And I always want to be remembered as someone who was inspiring others, not just fighters, but people in general. Of with hard work and dedication, you can achieve anything in this life.
So after these 15 years, your last fight is July 7th against Forrest Griffith. What are you going to miss about the UFC and the fighting? And
I think the most I'll miss about it is winning, having my hand raised against another man, knowing that I'm the best fighter at that night. Push myself in training, but just showing people that anything's possible. People gotta understand, I was a kid who came from nothing. I didn't have money. I wasn't a skilled fighter. I didn't come from a background of fighting or kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. I mean, I wrestled in high school. That's where I first started. And I just showed what hard work and dedication can achieve. And, as I look at my career and I've shown others, other fighters, other kids, people in general that, you can be successful as long as you set your goals and keep your head high and your chin high and always be respectful. And I've been doing it since day one, maybe not respectful towards the guys I'm fighting, but I'm just trying to get in their head. But, trying to carry myself in a respectful manner of what hard work and dedication really shows.
People might not know, who was your who was the guy that brought you into the UFC?
The guy that brought me into the UFC was Tank Abbott. I was one of the first guys that I started training with. He fought in UFC, I think it was UFC 6, and he needed a wrestling partner. And I started working with him within wrestling, and I didn't really realize that I was going to get into it. And I saw a guy by the name of Jerry Bolander who fought, and he was a guy who I wrestled in high school, and I gave him an ass whipping in high school. So I thought, if I could do it in wrestling, I wonder what I could really do in fighting. I mean, I came from punk rock background in Huntington Beach. My brother used to beat my ass all the time, and I knew how to fight. I knew how to defend myself. But I never imagined that I'd be to this level as I am now.
Takes about, say for an average person, Dave, how long do you think it takes to get up the mountain? From the base of the mountain up?
Base of the mountain up for a person to get up here is 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's 45 miles.
Okay.
It takes about 45 minutes.
So yes,
I've got up here on a record. My record so far is 18 minutes.
And you don't get sick at all,
I
huh?
love you to death, buddy.
I
I seen your cars. I seen how you drive.
know when I mean my Porsche is that's the fastest I've got up here. My Porsche and cars are built for speed like that, you know.
How
Taking
fast-
the corners. And,
How fast did you go up? How fast?
I'm going 65 miles an hour. I'm taking a corner that usually says 20. I'm going about 60. But I mean, I gotta say thanks for Toyota for teaching my racing, or excuse me, my controlled racing when I did the Long Beach Grand Prix. I crashed a few times, but you learn. You learn how to take corners, you do your apex turn and all that. And
Largemouth.
a little largemouth right here, baby. This is how we do it up here in Big Bear Lake. Fishing a little largemouth. Not too bad of a fish.
Let me get my camera.
It's a little fatty. Almost like a smallmouth. Look at him. That's a smallmouth, huh?
That's largemouth.
Largemouth?
It's just really fat.
Fat, look how fat he is.
Short and stubby he is.
Cool little smallmouth. Oh, excuse me, largemouth. Here, huge largemouth. This is one of the lake's biggest bass we got in here, as you can see.
Could be a lake record.
This is a lake record. This is actually probably about maybe a whole month old, maybe. Look how small that thing. I think it's as big as a bait, and he still ate it. That's pretty cool.